You think you know when someone is lying to you, but you are probably looking for the wrong clues. Most people search for one magic sign, like looking up and to the left. But that is a myth. Real lies do not show up as a single trick. They show up as a shift in normal behavior. This brings us to the first real sign, the baseline shift. You cannot spot a lie if you do not know how the person acts when they are telling the truth. Their normal behavior is their baseline. If your friend is usually calm and still, but suddenly starts fidgeting when you ask about their weekend, that is a red flag. It means their stress levels just changed. But remember, this does not mean they are definitely lying. It just means they are feeling pressure or discomfort. They might just be nervous about giving a bad answer. You have to know their normal self to notice the change clearly. Once you spot that sudden shift in their overall mood, you need to pay very close attention to how they handle the actual conversation. This is exactly where the real clues start to show up. When you ask a direct question, a truthful person usually answers right away. They just tell you what happened. But a liar does things differently. They might pause, look away, or even repeat your question back to you. For example, if you ask, "Where were you last night?" they might say, "Where was I last night?" They are doing this to buy their brain a few extra seconds to make up a story. It sounds like they are just thinking, but they are actually stalling. Now, be careful here. Honest people pause too, especially if the question is hard to remember or just complicated. A pause alone does not mean they are lying. But if that pause feels unnatural or happens right after a baseline shift, pay attention. Once they finally finish that awkward pause and start speaking, you will notice something very different about the exact words they choose. Truthful people keep things very simple. If you ask them what they did, they give a short answer. But liars often give way too much information. They think adding more details makes their story sound real. If you ask what they did last night, an honest person just says they went to dinner. A liar gives you a long breakdown. They tell you exactly what they ate, who they texted, and what the weather was like. They are overcompensating to hide the truth. They want to bury the lie in useless facts. But remember, some people just naturally talk a lot. You should only look for this if it is totally out of character for them. If they are usually quiet and suddenly give you a huge speech, that is a clear clue. Once you hear them giving too many details, stop listening to their words. Start watching their hands. When people lie, they feel deeply uncomfortable. Their body naturally tries to protect them. You will see them create unconscious physical barriers. They might suddenly cover their mouth, cross their arms tightly, or hide their hands under the table. Pay special attention to their neck and mouth area. They might touch their neck or rub their lips. These are calming gestures. Their brain is feeling sudden stress, and their body is literally trying to calm itself down. But be careful not to jump to conclusions. Touching the neck could just mean the room is cold, or they have a tickle in their throat. A single gesture means absolutely nothing. You need to look for a cluster of these signs happening all at once. When you see their body trying to block you out, look right up at their face. The eyes will tell you the rest of the whole story. Most people think liars always avoid eye contact. That is a very popular myth. But many smart liars actually know this trick. So, they will do the exact opposite. They stare at you way too long without blinking just to prove they are being totally honest. You really need to look for the extremes. If their eye contact feels forced, overly intense, or completely missing, you must pay close attention. It feels completely unnatural because it is. But remember, eye contact is tricky. Cultural differences and brain differences affect how people look at each other heavily. Some people just naturally avoid eye contact when they are thinking. Do not assume they are lying just because they look away. You have to compare it to their normal baseline. Once you are done looking at their face and eyes, look down. The most honest part of their body is actually their feet. People can very easily control their face. They can easily fake a smile or force eye contact, but they almost always completely forget about their feet. When someone is talking to you, just look down. If their feet are pointed toward the door, they really want to leave. This is actually a huge clue. When people are lying, they feel a very strong urge to escape the situation. Their brain wants to run away, so their feet will naturally point toward the closest exit. It is a funny realization, but the feet are actually the most honest part of the human body. Now, keep it practical. This just shows general discomfort. They might just be in a hurry, not necessarily lying. But if they are pointing for the exit while also hiding their hands, pay attention. Once you see their body trying to run away, watch how they react emotionally. A truthful person will usually help you understand if you are confused. They want to clear things up. But a liar will get very defensive. If you ask a quick extra question and they suddenly get angry, act offended, or turn it around to attack you, they are trying to shut down the conversation. They want you to drop the subject immediately. Getting angry is a clever tactic to make you feel bad for even asking. It shifts the blame onto you. When someone uses unearned anger like this, do not fight back. Do not try to win the argument. Just calmly walk away and protect your peace. Their anger is a massive red flag that they are hiding something. Now that you know these 7 signs, we need to talk about the most important rule of reading body language so that you do not jump to any false conclusions. Never judge a lie by just one single sign. If someone touches their neck, they might just have an itch. But if they pause, over-explain, cross their arms, and point their feet at the door all at the exact same time, that is called a cluster. That is when you know something is definitely off. Trust your gut feeling, but always look for the full picture. Remember, these signs only show stress, not absolute proof of lying. People get nervous for many different reasons in daily life. Do not accuse anyone based on just one small clue. Look for the whole pattern before you make a final judgment. When you see the full cluster, you will know exactly how to handle the situation safely. If you want to get much better at reading people and protecting your daily peace, hit the subscribe button right now to learn even more today.